So, tomorrow the second phase of version 6.2 cycles in, and with that the Varesa and Xilonen banners, and I have a feeling a lot of you already made a decision without even opening the wish screen. Because this is one of those rare moments where a banner can be insanely good on paper, but the smartest move for many accounts is still to skip. And yes, this is exactly why so many players end up skipping one of the best supports in the game, even when they know she is cracked. In this video, we are going to talk in a very simple way about whether these banners are still worth it in today's economy, and now that we officially know the 4 stars, we will rank their value too. No overcomplicated math, no 10-minute combo tutorials. Just the real question: what do you gain, what do you give up, and what makes sense if you are saving for the next wave of characters? Let me start with the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people are not skipping because Xilonen is bad. They're skipping because the opportunity cost is brutal right now. The next banners are looming in the distance like a giant neon sign. Columbina, Zibai, Varka and 6.4, Nicole later. And once you say those names out loud, suddenly even one of the best supports in the game starts to feel like a luxury, not a must. That's the vibe we are in. And you can literally see it in the community mood. I posted a poll on my channel asking who people plan to pull in version 6.2 Phase 2. And the result was kind of wild. The biggest chunk of players voted skip. Varesa got a smaller slice, Xilonen got a bigger slice, and both was tiny. That does not mean Xilonen is weak. It means people already pulled her, or are saving like their life depends on it. Okay, Xilonen first. Why is she considered one of the best supports in the game? Because she is versatile in a way that makes team building feel easy. She can fit into many teams, and her buffs are strong and last long enough that you do not feel rushed. She brings comfortable healing and sustain, which means you can often drop a dedicated healer slot and still feel safe. And the best part is that she is easy to use. You do not need a complicated setup. You do not need perfect timing. You just play your team and her value shows up naturally. But then we get to the reasons why someone could still skip her in this specific moment. First, there is anti-synergy with certain teams. She does not buff Anemo teams or Dendro teams, so depending on what your account loves to play, she might not be your missing puzzle piece. Second, she has no grouping. And that matters because when people compare supports, they often compare them to units like Kazuha, and Kazuha does not just buff, he also pulls enemies together and makes the whole fight cleaner. Xilonen is more about making your numbers and your sustain better, not about controlling the battlefield. And the biggest modern issue is not that she is bad with Luna teams, it is that she is not the one universal Luna answer. Xilonen actually does have a real place in the Luna world, especially in the best Flynn's Luna charged setups, where she adds a lot of value through buffs and comfort. But she is more of a premium upgrade than a core piece that makes every new Luna team work. She also does not help the Luna Bloom side in the same way, so if your whole plan is to go all in on Bloom-focused Luna teams, she is not the character that suddenly makes that archetype pop off. And on top of that, the Hexarai buffs are stealing a lot of spotlight right now. Suddenly Mondstadt units are getting shiny new power-ups and new interactions, and it pulls attention away from a support like Xilonen even if she is still incredible. So yes, she is still one of the best supports in the game, but it is also understandable why someone looks at the direction of new teams and thinks, do I want this upgrade now, or do I save and commit to a different Luna path? Now Varesa. Varesa is basically the opposite kind of pull. She is not a universal support that upgrades everything. She is a dedicated damage dealer, and the question is whether you need another damage dealer right now. On the pro side, her damage is high. She has excellent single target and area electro damage, and when she is played right, she looks like one of the best damage dealers of her time. Her playstyle is also unique, an electro plunge damage dealer with a lot of mobility. And that also means she feels great in exploration. She has enhanced sprint speed and stamina management, and you will notice it while moving around the world. Also, she has a dedicated 4-star support in the same ecosystem, and that matters a lot for free-to-play value. A lot of modern damage dealers feel like they want specific 5-star supports, and if you do not have those, you lose a big chunk of what makes them special. Varesa is in a healthier spot because her support package is much more reachable. On the con side, she is still a dedicated damage dealer. So if you already own strong electro carries, she is not automatically a must-pull. And the plunge playstyle is a real, you either love it or you don't situation. It can be hard to learn, and if you do not enjoy the rhythm, she can feel awkward fast. This is not like pulling Novelette where you can kind of brute force comfort with low effort. With characters like Varesa, your skill matters more, and that is a deal breaker for some people. Now the 4 stars, because this is where the banner becomes more tempting than people expected. We officially know the lineup, and it is honestly very good if you like this kind of team. Ian-san is a great support for Varesa and a very real reason to consider pulling even if you are unsure. She gives great attack buffs, she is easy to build because she mainly wants energy recharge and attack, and her constellations are actually valuable. Her 2nd and 6th constellation are the kind of upgrades that feel huge, not tiny bonus upgrades. The one downside is that her attack buff depends on mobility. If your character barely moves around the field, you do not squeeze out full value. But for plunge and fast movement playstyles, she fits like a glove. Chevreuse is also really good with Varesa, especially in overload teams. She is an amazing support for Pyro and Electro, and she has easy and accessible weapon options. The downside is team building restrictions. She wants the team to be only Pyro and Electro, and that can feel limiting. And yes, overload can be annoying because it knocks enemies back, which sometimes makes fights messier. But in the right setup, she is still a very strong support. Gaming is the 3rd piece, and he is kind of the sleeper star of the banner. He is a plunge pyro damage dealer and one of the best 4-star main damage dealers we have. At high constellations, he can compete with some 5 stars in real content. He also has very high base attack for a 4-star. The downside is again the same pattern. His playstyle has a high skill ceiling. If you do not know how to play him right, you can lose a lot of damage. But if you learn him, he is crazy for a 4-star. And I think by now you should see the trend. The 4 stars synergize with Varesa, but they also synergize with each other. You basically have 1/3 of a team already sitting inside this banner with Ian-san plus Chevreuse plus the plunge theme, and that is really high 4-star value. Even if you skip Varesa, some people will still throw wishes just because these 4 stars are not filler, they're actually useful. So what is the verdict? Should you pull Varesa and Xilonen? Here's how I would frame it. If you do not own Xilonen, I genuinely think she is still close to a must-have for most accounts, even with the downsides. Her value is not a theory. It is comfort, damage support, and healing in one slot, and that kind of role compression stays good for a long time. The only reason to skip her is not because she is weak, but because you are protecting your stash for what is coming next, especially if you are aiming for the Luna direction. If you are thinking about Varesa, ask yourself one honest question: do you actually want to learn and play plunge? If the answer is yes, she can be a monster, and she comes with a very friendly 4-star ecosystem. If the answer is no, do not force it. A strong character you do not enjoy playing will sit on the bench, and then it was never worth it. Me personally, I'm doing the same as most of you guys. I'm skipping. I already own Xilonen, and I personally do not really want to learn the Varesa playstyle right now. And I'm looking ahead at Columbina, Barca, and Nicole, so my priority is saving. But if I did not have Xilonen, I would definitely stop and reconsider, because she really is one of those supports that makes your whole account feel smoother. So yeah, that is the whole point behind this video. Tell me in the comments what you are doing tomorrow. Are you pulling Varesa, pulling Xilonen, throwing a few wishes for the 4 stars, or joining the big skip wave? And tell me your current Primo Gem count too. I always like seeing how prepared you guys are. If this helped, like and subscribe. We're on the road to 18,000, and I'll see you in the next one.